Federal electric car tax credits, they are expiring at the end of September. And here to explain what that means for consumers, financial analyst Chase Wilsey. Chase, good morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
We're hearing so much of this tax credit going away. All the dealerships are making sure people know about it, get in there early. What is the federal tax credit? And how does it work?
Yeah, so I'm going to say that there's two kind of main things that are happening here with tax credits, especially revolving around EVs. There's the more common consumer credit, right? So right now you would get $7,500 for buying you don't get $7,500. You get a tax credit worth $7,500 if you buy an EV that qualifies. Now, it has to meet certain manufacturing standards. You have income limits that need to be met, and also too, the price of that vehicle needs to be under certain thresholds. So there are parameters you need to follow, but that will be expiring September 30th. Okay. So you need to, if you're going to buy one and hope to get that credit, you need to have a first payment and have that locked in by September 30th.
And is that going to happen September 30th, or things tend to kind of get pushed back or not when people kind of throw a fit of it? They've come to expect tax credits when buying an EV.
I believe that is going to be a hard deadline because there was kind of concern around, well, do you have to have the vehicle delivered by September 30th? And now they're saying, no, you don't have to have it delivered by September 30th. You need to have a payment and have that actually the plan in place. Can be delivered at a later date, though.
Why did they do away with this?
I believe they did away with this. You know, obviously they're kind of looking at the one big beautiful bill, looking at cutting taxes, looking at kind of making sure that they're trying to run a more balanced budget. Keyword is trying, but this was kind of an area to maybe reduce potential cost there, I would say.
What do you think this means for EV car makers, specifically companies like Tesla? What are they going to feel from this?
Yeah, so I obviously think this is bad for EV car makers.
I was kind of going in that. It doesn't seem like it's good, but I don't know.
Number one, they're going to lose the demand, right? I mean, obviously, they're either going to have to maybe lower prices to bring people in to buy that vehicle, which is going to hurt prices, hurt profits for that company, or they could lose out on sales because people might not have the interest. But the big one that I think is going to hurt EV makers is there's something called CAFE standards. That is essentially what sets what car makers must do for MPG. So right now that requirement's around 39.1. By 2031 it's going to be over 50. What happens is your big car makers like Ford, GM, Stellantis, they're not meeting those standards. So they've had to buy credits from companies like Tesla and Rivian to offset their lack of meeting those standards. Penalties have now disappeared for not meeting CAFE standards. So a company like Tesla said losing that revenue could cost them about $1.1 billion. Wow. The big problem with that is that $1.1 billion, it's pure profit essentially, because they're not doing anything. They're not producing more cars. They're not having to sell anything. There's no cost that goes into that. That should, all else equal, reduce profits by $1.1 billion. Company like Rivian, they said about 6.5% of total revenue in the first half of 2025 came from companies needing to meet these CAFE standards. So I think EV companies are going to have some big problems in the months ahead.
What about people who want to buy an electric car? Is this working? Is it like people rushing, oh, we have to get it now before September 30th? Or are they kind of, hold on a second here?
I've heard mixed things about it. I've heard some people are trying to rush in and buy it.
Sure.
Me personally, I think what is most likely to happen is once these credits expire, I think maybe next year could be a good time to look at buying a electric car, because I think that demand will settle out. I think this rush to maybe buy before that tax credit happens will subside. You might have an influx of excess inventory. I think you could find some good deals on EVs maybe mid next year.
What about state leaders? What are they doing kind of behind the scenes, if you will, as this deadline looms? We're just about a month away now.
Yeah, so the last I've seen here, specifically in the state of California, they've launched a plethora of lawsuits against the Trump administration, especially kind of revolving around these electric credits, the environmental standards, things of that nature. I also have seen that they are evaluating potentially replacing that tax credit. I don't know if it's going to be $7,500, but they are looking at maybe subsidizing EV purchases to some level.
It already got dropped. It used to be more than $7,500. Went down to that, and now, okay. I mean, we'll stay tuned and see what happens with all these EVs. I'm seeing all these leases with prices that unheard of lately.
And I think they could get better.
$159.